Hey guys, it's Lee. Today we're having Peruvian food with my special Peruvian guest, Caziel. He's an LA-based music producer. First, let's talk about what we have right here.
Yeah.
So, can you explain?
Yeah, so this is arroz chaufa, and it's like our take on Chinese fried rice. We used to have a lot of like Chinese and Asian immigrants in Peru, so it's kind of like this like whole cultural mash of stuff.
So, if I were to go to Peru right now, there would be a lot of like Chinese immigrants.
There's a lot of like I would say some Asian people there as well. This other one is actually probably our most famous dish. It's called ceviche. It's Peruvian ceviche. It's a bit different from like the Mexican or like the other like.
What's the biggest difference?
I think it's just like the spices in general, and the lime. I think our lime is a bit different. It just tastes different, I think.
And then what's this?
This is lomo saltado. It's actually another really popular dish that we have. It's with steak, and we got normally with a side of fries. And a lot of Peruvians we love our rice for some reason. All of our dishes have rice except ceviche. Yeah.
Do you feel like the rice out here is different from the Peruvian rice that you knew?
I don't know. Maybe it's the way I cook it. Honestly, my cooking skills are not the best.
What do you feel is like something that most Americans don't really know about Peruvians?
Okay, probably about now that we're talking about food. The food definitely. Like I feel like we internationally we're really well known for our food, for our culinary like skills.
I had no idea, really.
Yeah, like Peru was actually like 7 year in a row culinary destination of the world, and we're really proud of it too.
So when you moved from Peru to China, what was that like? So a little bit about Caziel before we move forward.
I moved out from Peru when I was 13, and I moved to this city in China called Dalian, which is a small peninsula in the south. And yeah, I actually was there for 6 years until I came here to LA. It was my home for a while, but I wouldn't really consider myself Chinese yet. I feel like there's still so much to learn from that culture.
Really? Did you experience culture shock from going from Peru to China?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think one of the big parts was the language. The language was so hard to learn. The first years where I was very struggling to like go around, communicating with people in the street, trying to get a cab, It was really embarrassing as well.
How long did it take you to learn Chinese?
Well, my Chinese is not perfect now. A lot to learn, Like I can definitely communicate with some people, but when it comes to like vocabulary, I feel like there's still so much. My brother, he lives in Hong Kong, and I think he's learning Cantonese, which is like the traditional way to write it, which
and
is
it's harder.
A lot harder, yeah. And holy shit.
It's so good. One of the cool things about Caziel that I thought was super interesting when I first met him was that his parents are actually renowned artists. And can you tell us about that? What was it like growing up with really like interesting, successful parents?
So my parents were they've always been like really creative, and since I was small, they always wanted me to like paint and stuff. My dad travels a lot for like art.
So your dad is a what? Like, what does he do?
So he right now he teaches art, but he's also been a writer, bestseller writer in Peru, and he's also illustrated a lot of books and done his own paintings and stuff.
And then mom?
My mom does similar stuff, but she also does some sculptures and some other. It's always like a house of like creativity, Like I feel like that led me to want to do something that's related to art, I of course decided to do music, but yeah, I was always in that atmosphere that I always want to be creating something. I always want to be able to be creative, I started producing when I was like 16.
Wow.
I started DJing when I was 16.
Wow. And
my dreams back then are super different from the ones that I have right now. And my goals were different. Of course, when I was younger, I thought like, yeah, I could make it big like right now, with the stuff I got right now. But was that because you had successful parents and you saw them make it that you felt like, oh, I can do this too, kind of thing? I feel like it was more of like the media, the people that I like looked up for, because there was a lot of young people back then that were like making it as really big DJs, really big producers, and that really encouraged me. I was like, okay, I'm their age, so I should be able to do it as well.
Right.
And of course, my parents were there, like encouraging me to just keep on going because they felt like I had a big dream and they wanted me to like be successful at it.
Right.
But of course, when I was growing up, it's like
We're having
Yeah.
Incan Cola. It's a Peruvian soda.
it's our favorite soda.
Oh, it's their favorite soda.
I was when I kept on working, I kept on like changing my styles and everything. I found out that it's all about patience. You know, you gotta be patient in what you do.
Right, and a lot of hard work that goes into
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
Absolutely. That's really cool. What do you feel is like something that as a foreigner you should know before going to China or relocating or even visiting? Like what are some things you feel like people should know?
I feel like you should get to know a bit more of the tradition before you go there. There's a lot of, you don't want to be, disrespectful sometimes on the tradition, so you gotta be aware of certain things.
What would be considered disrespectful to them?
Not disrespectful, more like be aware of like the different traditions and like don't like, because they live a very different life than I think the West does in certain matters.
Absolutely,
Depends
yeah.
on, of course, depends on where you go in China,
Right.
But yeah, you just need to be aware of all that stuff. Also, like have a great tour guide if you don't know Chinese, because it can get kind of hard.
Do you feel like it's like a little bit dangerous, or you feel like it's safe?
I wouldn't say it's dangerous. I just feel like it would be harder for you to get around. Like you could nowadays you have your phone, you can like Google Translate stuff.
Right.
It's not that hard, but it definitely helps having some local person really show you what the traditions are and what China really is, instead of only going to the touristy areas.
From your experience, do you feel like Chinese people are really welcoming to foreigners like yourself? So like, do you feel like they're welcoming towards us?
I feel like nowadays they're pretty welcoming. I wasn't treated badly over there, of course. I met a lot of friends, and yeah, they're always very interested in like foreigners,
That's cool.
Yeah, so many memories just eating this food.
What memories come to your mind?
Just like being with the family, like my grandparents cooking. And
so all your family is in Peru?
most of my family is like the only people that are not is just, of course, my parents and my brother, but like my grandparents, my
like aunts, uncles. Are you close with them?
Right.
Wow, and you haven't seen them in a while, huh?
Last time I saw them was in December, actually.
Oh,
Actually,
no.
I haven't seen my parents in a while.
No, December is not too long ago.
Yeah, I was supposed to go back this July, but
Yeah.
coronavirus, guys.
Right, fucked it all
Stay
up.
safe.
Quarantine, 2020, for real. Do you feel like you would move back to Peru, or do you feel like LA is home for life, or do you feel like China is home?
Well, I'm still getting used to LA. There's so much stuff that I haven't seen in LA yet.
Have you experienced culture shock when you went from China to LA?
Not really, actually.
Really?
It wasn't that crazy of a difference. In terms of like what the city's like and what the people are like, yeah, it's different. But it was not like a huge shock. I've been speaking English for a while. It wasn't that
And then
hard.
they're really like Spanish friendly over here.
Yeah, especially
Do you like that?
I love that. At times I feel like really at home, because there's a lot of like Latinos here, and
I agree. I
we
like
have
that
a
too.
similar background.
I like
Yeah.
that very much. In China, was there like a Latino area? Like, how here we have Chinatown? Is there like a Latino town out there?
I would say there was more like a community, especially in the city I lived in. It was more of a community thing. There was like a small group, but we would always have like Latin parties, and we had the gatherings together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a small group, like not, I would say like 100 something people in the city, but like
Wow.
we would have gatherings and stuff like that.
That's really cool. I had no idea. Did you try this?
No.
It's
not
actually
yet.
very tasty. It's just really spicy.
Let me see. She's like, no, that's mine.
You get your own.
Oh.
It's really tasty. It's just a little bit
Spicy? Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of like people that try Peruvian food, this is like one of their favorite dishes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like American people?
Yeah. Personally, it's not like my favorite. I like it a lot, but it's not like I'd say ceviche is my favorite.
Ah, is it?
Yeah.
I like the sauce, but I will say that I'm not a fan of like the squid or like the octopus.
Right.
What is this?
Squid.
Okay, yeah, so I don't like squid. The seaweed is actually really interesting. I had no idea that Peru is like one of the culinary destinations of the world.
Yes.
That is so fascinating. That is super cool, actually. So, do you guys have Michelin restaurants out there?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. That's really cool. Ooh, I'm full.
I'm getting there.
See, that's the thing with these mukbangs. If you want to learn more about Caziel, his links are going to be in the description. Feel free to check him out, and we'll see you guys next time.